Hello Newcastle fans, welcome to a special video. I have a professional coach, a very close friend of mine. He's out professionally coaching. I can't give too much away because obviously it might get him into trouble. However, he's decided to come on to the channel, do a video for us. He teaches professionally over in the US now. He's been over there for 2 years now, teaching professionally. So what he's done for us, for the channel, he's also had a look at how I do the tactic board video, which is normally out every Friday. Now, what he's looked at is where we can improve on as a channel, which I welcome constructive criticism, and I obviously trust Sean's instincts. Now, he gives us the opinion of what Sean mentions in particular is the left flank problem that we seem to have at the club. Now, my argument is, obviously you guys know who watch the channel, is the argument that I'm putting forward is Gouffran. I need Gouffran to hog the touchline, as you know, because Paul Dummett, which Rafa loves, cannot get forward. He can't bomb on. Now, Sean's case is the formation that Newcastle play, the 4-2-3-1 formation. You can't have that because Gouffran, if he hogs the touchline, isolates the number 10, which will either be Perez or Diame. Now, he also wants Lazar to play every game. However, we know that Rafa can't. So it's an argument. It's a good argument. It's a debate. I want you to have a chat in the comments down there below. Sean argues the case of obviously you can't play that and you've got to play Yedlin and Lazar every time. He has Sean's video on the tactics board and his thoughts on the formation that Rafa plays.
Obviously, I'm doing this from my home in New York. I just wanted to do a video just on a few topics, just in relation to Newcastle United. Obviously, my perspective on them. Try and give a bit of a coaching in depth of what I believe, is happening with ourselves. I'm not going to go back as far as getting Benitez in. Obviously, we know why Benitez was there. Wanted to come back with his family. Fantastic manager, proven record. Mike actually knew we needed to change and bring in a big name. Obviously, we got relegated. Benitez thought of us as a project for 3 years. Signed the contract on basis that he had full control over everything apart from obviously the financial aspect, which is, I have no qualms about that, perfect. Just recently, I just want to bring up some topics. You talk about formation quite a lot lately and about your beliefs and disbeliefs. Personally, for me, I agree with some things you say, but I also disagree. Big thing I disagree with you on is when you talk about formations, you want wide players to hog lines. It doesn't really sort of work like that and with a 4-2-3-1. And the reason being is because you isolate the number 10. And the number 10 is obviously the one behind the striker. When your team's in possession of the ball, your fullbacks in the modern day hog that line. They're the ones that hog it. And the problem with Newcastle in that formation is we don't keep possession of the ball well enough and utilise that space out wide with our fullbacks. And I'm a massive fan of Yedlin. He brings that. So you look at Spurs, you look at Rose and Walker. People like Ericsson, Ali, they cut inside and they support the number 10 and try and, in the final third, try and play that way. Newcastle United, I'd love to see that on our left-hand side. Dummett, for me, needs to go. Dummett doesn't give that, and that's what I agree with you with. He doesn't give that. He doesn't understand, if the ball goes inside, he needs to be that man to get on that left, and he needs to be the man to get to that byline in the final third to support out wide and let Gouffran tuck in. We have people like Gouffran, Richie, who likes to cut in on his left foot. So Yedlin gives him that support, and that's why I didn't really like Anita there. So for me, Anita needs to come back in centre midfield. Lazar, for me, needs to start every game on the left. For the simple reason is he's not as good going back as what he is going forward, the same as Yedlin. But, that's at home, that's what you need. And if you guys are hidden, sitting as a number 6, that leaves you number 4, number 5, so your 2 centre-backs and your defensive midfielder to come and sit to make that triangle in defensive line. So it allows people like Gouffran, Richie, Sammy Amiobi now is back. Perez can actually drift out wide as well to cut in. So for me, we should have really purchased a number 10 and a number 3. Attack midfielder and a left-sided defender. For that simple basis at home, our wingers need to cut inside and our fullbacks need to get on and create that support. Fullbacks that are good getting the ball in. So if we try to play through the middle and we can't, or we try to get into Gale's feet, quick transition, if we can't do that through our number 10 or our number 8, which is Shelby, and number 9, then 2 and 3 need to get high and wide to give that support. So that's why I disagree with you on. Because I know you said you want Gouffran to hog and he doesn't, so you want to change it. But, you know, if you've got a number 10 that's isolated because your number 7 and 11's out wide, you know, you've seen it with Diarmi sometimes how the ball doesn't go to his feet. Simple reason the ball doesn't go to his feet because if we play it to him, he's got no support by our wide men because they're wide. They need to cut in. Whenever we have possession, they need to come off the byline and come and try and receive it. Play nice little triangles, play 1-2s. Try and put it to the middle. If not, you go wide. That's your option. So just a little bit of a coaching in depth of how I think and how it works in a 4-2-3-1. I also disagree on trying to get a wide player in. We brought Sammy Amiobi back. The reason I disagree is we're out of cup competitions. The only competition we have now is a championship. Obviously, you know, we need them in the top 2 to get in. But for me, Gouffran, Perez, Matt Ritchie, but we brought Sammy in. Now, Sammy's a wide player. We've only got 17 games left, and we're not in any cup competitions. So to bring a wide player in, for me, is a little bit of not a back step, obviously a good addition, but someone like Barrow or Townsend, you know, we shouldn't have brought them in. You know, we should have brought in a number 3, like I said, a number 10. You know, for centre midfield, for number 6, a defensive midfielder, obviously you've got Isaac Hayden, Anita. You know, you got Shelby as that number 8, who's going to play week in, week out. You know, Perez, if you're going to drop him to a bench. Mo Diarmi can play as a number 8 as well. So as a number 10, I thought that was the strongest point that we needed to fix. For me personally, I would have went for that number 10. Someone like a Daniel Sturridge, who can play as a number 9, but likes to drop to receive. You know, quick feet, good dribbling skills. He's not getting a regular game at Liverpool and, you know, having connections with Benitez. I think that might have been a good loan signing, or at least attempt it. You know, he scores goals. He's British. You know, so in that number 10, dropping off that number 9 to receive the ball could have been a fantastic partnership with Dwight Gale. But yeah, and away from home, you know, we dominate games. You know, against Blackburn, we dominated. Pretty much every game that we played, and we dominated. But it's because of width where we lack in terms of the intelligence to come off that line, the intelligence of having belief in your fullbacks can get on. So some games he starts Dummett and not Yedlin, which means we're not going to have any width. You have to start Yedlin week in, week out. You have to start Lazar week in, week out. And it's in the middle where you can rotate. You can play Nida, you can play Hayden. You know, alongside Shelby's going to play that number 8. He's got a free roll. He sprays balls left, right, and centre, gets goals, gets it into feet. Fantastic. But that number 6, you know, we have Isaac Hayden or we have Anita. 2 of them can play. And Jack Colback, of course. Now, I'm a massive fan of Jack Colback, and I'll tell you why. Keeps everything ticking. You need that player in your team to keep it ticking. Whether it's he goes back to start again or he goes left or right. Doesn't have to play those forward passes. That's why you've got Shelby. So for me, I'm a massive fan of Colback. I know lots of Geordies on, but I'm a massive fan just because from a coaching aspect, you need that player to keep the ball ticking. Nice and simple. You don't focus on him. You focus on the attacking aspect and how he can make that work. And he can make it work by breaking the lines, by breaking teams down, which he does. And which Shelby does well. And of course, Isaac Hayden. So for me, the number 3 and the number 10 is where we could have, you know, for support for Lassar. The worry that I have, Reading and Leeds, I don't think they'll catch us, but is the fact that we're not grinding our games. In terms of, at the beginning of the season, I think we lost 7, drew 1. Brighton drew 7, lost 1. We need to learn how to grind our games. You know, from a losing position or a winning position. I think QPR went up 2 and up. We need to grind them out. And we need to grind at the point. I think that's where we lack. If we're losing, we try too hard to get the goal, and if we're winning, we try too hard to score more. We need to have the understanding between we're winning, let's just keep it tight, and if we find a break, let's find a break. So just want to give a little bit in depth on what I think tactics-wise. You know, like I say, I hope it, you know, Newcastle Fans TV is actually going really well for you. Like I say, I'm a massive follower.
Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that Sean's right? Do you reckon I'm right? Do you reckon there's a middle ground in between the two of us? it's a good opinion, and if you like that, if you like this kind of video, we'll get Sean doing more videos as well. We'll get him doing the actual full screen because he didn't do it full screen, but never mind. His time's obviously dedicated to teaching, coaching. Sorry, obviously in the towards the MLS. But I'll leave us to that. Let us know what you think. See you later.